Hello, hello. This is Laura V from Laura V Studios. Sure, we'll come on for being divine. It's like, I have a few things I want to talk about. So I was like, but yes, being divine. So what are we talking about today? Um, the 23rd Psalm, particularly the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Today is Monday, September 30th. And over the weekend, I think it was on Friday, there was Hurricane Helen came in through, and it was the weirdest thing. The people on the closest to the coast weren't affected much at all. It was inland. And so Asheville got buried, literally buried in water. And I have friends there, and I've been worried for them and concerned about them all weekend. And yeah, I want to be able to help them in the worst way. And I'm just like, how? How? I've always wrestled with this. Like, okay, I'm a spiritual being, I'm a divine being, but how does that help with the human at all? Now, interestingly, I grew up in Christian Science with lots of people showing how God can meet very physical needs very quickly, very easily. Sometimes not quickly, but when there's an emergency, it's like God shows up. It's like it isn't that. I mean, God's with us all the time. It's just I don't know. I'm not clear on this. So my heart's just hurting right now. And I think that's part of being divine. I really do. Because when I was opening up to this whole channeling thing, I channeled something one day that as I was writing it, I'm like, well, that's pretty cool fiction. And then the next day I read it again and the hairs on my hand, the hairs on my arms stood up. I was like, that wasn't fiction, that was channeled. And basically what it was that I'm from the celestial or angelic realms, apparently. Um, I I can connect to that place where I am. It's easy to think when you're human, oh, I came from somewhere, but I'm not there now because I'm here. And what I'm learning, and this is probably part of being divine, is that there is here and here is there. There's no separation. So where I am, where I think of where I was before I incarnated, is where I am now. And that's so interesting and so wonderful to contemplate and to reflect, but also to connect. I can connect with it. I can connect with that energy. I can connect with that place. A I don't know. It's an energetic place. It's a level of consciousness or a plane of consciousness, something like that. Um, and it's where, all is love. All is love. Love is all. And yeah, I caught a glimpse of it back in August. My soul one with God. I'm like, oh. Then I realized, wait a minute, you're there now, not here. Wait, what? It was kind of interesting. It's like, no, I'm here now, and I'm always there. So that part of me is always there. And so it's like the human the human is a story. It doesn't feel like a story, because I think I think the reason story feels kind of hollow is because we read stories all the time, right? We read stories, we watch stories, we listen to stories all the time. And yet when it's our own physical experience that's being affected, it doesn't feel like a story anymore. It feels hard and real and terrifying. Yeah, I've had to heal some terrifying things that I've experienced. Not heal the thing itself, because obviously that's over, but heal the effects of it. I was affected by some very challenging human experiences. They were terrifying and I mean truly terrifying. And I had to heal that terror. I had to heal that fear. I had to heal the helplessness and the powerlessness I felt from those experiences. And especially when we're dealing with the effects of a storm that take away so many things that were a part of our lives. It's very destructive and it feels very terrifying and terrible. And yet, love is ever present. And Mrs. Eddy wrote a statement: love, divine love, always has met and always will meet every human need. And that is what I'm holding on to for my friends right now, is that no matter how bad things are, love is right there, loving them, meeting their need. And that's what I'm holding on to very as tightly as I can. So, yeah, that's where I am today on September 30th. You know, being divine, you can know what's true, but when human circumstances come up to challenge it, that's when the rubber meets the road, right? Or the rubber hits the road, one of the two. And you have to know it in a very different way. You have to say, no, no, I am not going to let these human circumstances try to convince me that God isn't here and that I am not safe or I am not secure. I'm going to know that no matter what the human circumstances are, my needs are being met. I will have the money to live. I will have the food and the water I need to live. I will have these very basic things that I may live. For God alone is life, or for love alone is life. And life most sweet is heart to heart, speaks kindly when we meet and part. So I have a lot of hymns that I grew up with that I turn to every day, like every day. And so one of the things I want to do is share them with you because I want you to have them for when you need them too. So I'm going to try to create some videos with some of these hymns or find them elsewhere on YouTube and I don't know and give you the links or something. I'm not sure, but I want to make them available so that they can be there for you to comfort you when you need it as much as they comfort me when I need them. And the other thing I'm going to share is the things that I'm working with from the science and health that have been with me my whole life that I continue to go to, like, okay, help with this kind of thing. So I'm going to share with that. And I, I had this idea, and I even created a YouTube thumbnail for it. Um, the Christian Science Church puts out weekly Bible lessons, and they are inspiring and they are healing. And I've wanted to read some of them and put them on YouTube so that you can experience this for yourself. And then if you wish, you can go and, read them on the site or buy the quarterly, the digital edition's $15 a quarter. I mean, it's cheap, which is great. Um, and they give so much. So those are some things I'm thinking about putting on YouTube, and let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. But I'm just gonna keep showing up and sharing where I am today and what I'm learning as often as I can. I'll just keep going. All right. So, with much love and gratitude for you, have a good day. Bye bye.